Hello guys, and welcome to Sensei One. Today we're going to talk about parkour and gymnastics technique. What is different? These two techniques have a difference. Gymnastics take off using a technique which we call punch. It is very helpful to use it if you are on the spring floor. Hey guys, I almost made the video about the difference between parkour and gymnastics technique, and I asked one of our Kelowna gymnastic coaches to send me a video how he's doing front flip, and when he sent it to me, it's not what I was expecting to see. So it was a little bit different technique, almost like we do in parkour, and that's why I have to postpone my video about parkour and gymnastics technique. So now we're here in Ambition Parkour and Kelowna Gymnastic Gym, and there is an incredible gymnastic coach, James.
Hello.
James, hello.
Hi.
And I want to ask James about how do they coach beginners and how do they coach advanced athletes in gymnastics. So
so breaking down, first of all, difference between parkour and gymnastics. Gymnastics, we use the apparatus as the floor, imagining that we're using trampoline and springs. So gymnastics is performed on a sprung floor, and by using the arms, we can use the floor in a bit of different ways. Basic jump, we're trying to land with our feet in front of us with our arms up tall. What that's going to do is it's going to create a nice strong position. If we stay strong and tight on the floor is going to do most of the work. I tell my gymnasts that they have to be lazy. They don't want to be doing the work. They want the floor to be doing the work for them.
With parkour takeoff, we're usually using the jumping technique. I would suggest using the stagger step technique, or it's called split step. In this situation, your front leg will play the role of the block as we're doing in the punch technique. One of the high jumps technique came from basketball, right? More about this technique we will break down the pieces, and I will talk about this in another video. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn notification bell on.
So basic takeoff, running through, feet in front, arms up, push and control. This is good for the beginners because it's less to think about. If I'm explaining that they have to go arms up and then tuck and then all these different instructions, they're not going to be able to figure it out too well. So basics, we're running, finishing arms up, and then it's just a forward roll. So we're trying to get them to tuck over their head and making a nice forward roll position. Next step, we would go up onto something a little bit higher. So we would stack some mats up, maybe 3 or 4 mats. The goal is to try to get them going up in their roll rather than down. So the common mistake that I see, and the reason that when we get a little bit more advanced, we bring the arms up rather than starting arms up, is because when they throw their front flip, they throw their arms down. And so they're not actually getting the height that they need to be able to make the rotation the whole way. So when they've got the idea of flipping up to a mat with the arms up, then it's about lifting the arms as they punch through their feet. By getting the arms up, as they jump, they're pushing their feet into the floor, and that's going to use the springs as best as possible. Next mistake I commonly see is they try to tuck too quick. They try to throw the arms down and not waiting for the height and a lift. So if they can get their arms to snap first and then into the tuck, then it's that kind of timing that we're looking for. Bring it all together. We're trying to lift through the arms and then coming down. So by lifting, it pushes into the floor. I reach as high as I can, snapping the arms down through the tuck. In gymnastics, as soon as we finish the flip or the skill, we want to show control and then move on to our next skill. So as you're opening up from the tuck, it's the lift, it's the tuck, and then the arms come back around in front, ready to control that landing. So
back to parkour takeoff. As you can see in parkour takeoff, we use much more leg muscles by squatting before they're actually jumping or taking off. Legs play the role of the springs. It causes much less pressure on the joints and tendons, but need to have very strong and tight muscles. We can't punch the ground because there is no springs. A lot of athletes using the punch technique outside could cause them a damage of the tendons and knees and hips. Some of them have a lower back pain and other issues. Because with gymnastics technique, we can absorb impact as we can do with parkour technique. Parkour technique includes a similar technique as a normal jump. Take off with arms coming up It provides you with a pulling force which makes your body go even higher. The set in this technique is much longer, which can cause a lot of young athletes a problem. Also, body have to full extend in the air and after start tucking. To do this technique, you need to be really confident with your body ability and air awareness. This is why I don't teach young kids and new students with the parkour technique. It is too hard physically and mentally to understand this movement. A lot of things to think about. Most of the time, young athletes will be training in the gym, so why not to start with gymnastics technique? And gymnastics technique is easier to learn and keep students motivated to learn more and improve their technique for the future growth. With landing, most of the time it's same. It could be 2 feet or stagger step. Depends what you're planning to do it after. If you're doing front flip precision, of course, you're 2 feet together. If you're planning to transfer your front flip to the next move, that's going to be stagger step. So good luck and see you in the next video. Okay, by listening to Coach James, I have 2 things in my mind. First one, we start from the back, from landing. Do you always stick your front flip, or you be doing front flip, cartwheel, and other elements as well?
In men's gymnastics specifically, we don't do a whole lot of, so for instance, in women's gymnastics, they would do a front flip, and then they would step 1 foot back and they can step into a cartwheel, step into a round-off, and they can use that as their floor line or their floor routine. In men's gymnastics, the only time we would use the front flip into a different skill is if we were doing, say, a front layout in the straight position into something like a layout with a half twist or a full twist. So doing combination.
So the front flip is not hard enough to transfer to something else.
Right.
So they need layout or something
exactly,
else.
right. So starting with the pike, bring the legs in, and then trying to get the straight body over the top.
My second question is about back muscles. Like when you're doing punch, you're not blocking yourself only, right? So you kind of extending your back, engaging your glutes and hamstring to make that opening body before you're punching, or not?
So the main difference is when I'm teaching the front tuck in parkour versus gymnastics. The front tuck takeoff I find for parkour is using the muscle of the leg to bend down and extend versus the gymnastics takeoff where we're already trying to hit the floor with the foot in front with an already extended leg. If we bend the knee, we are absorbing into the floor, and the floor is not going to give the best pushback that it can. So by landing with the feet in front, we're hitting it on a good angle, and if we're hitting it on an angle with the feet in front, then the flip's going to go up. If we hit the floor with our feet underneath us, then it's going to go forwards and it's not going to get height. So we play a lot of rebound of angles. So by finishing with the feet in front, we can get the most height.